Hello and welcome to Nationwide on the network service of the NTA. I am Chinenye Nwoye. Remember, you can watch this news broadcast live on our website at www.nta.ng/live and all our social media handles displayed on your screen for update. President Tinubu is attending ECOWAS 67th Ordinary Session of Authority of Heads of State and Government. Presidents of ECOWAS are holding a closed-door meeting before the ordinary session, which is coming exactly 2 years after President Tinubu assumed office as president of the West African Regional Bloc. President Bola Tinubu has expressed anguish over the suicide bombing in Kondoga, Borno State at the weekend. The president mourned those who lost their lives, describing the attack as cowardly. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, indicates that he urged security agencies to double their efforts in routing remnants of the Boko Haram insurgents who resort to attacks on soft targets as a diversionary tactic. President Tinubu condoled with the government and people of Borno State over the incident and directed the National Emergency Management Agency to support survivors. Meanwhile, the president has also sympathized with the families of those killed or injured by an explosion on Saturday morning in Kano. The explosion at a scrap metal factory affected 15 people, with 5 of them losing their lives. President Tinubu stressed the importance of workplace safety measures and tasked relevant government institutions to investigate the incident. We'll now join Musbau Dan Wahab, our State House correspondent, via Zoom to tell us what is happening now at the ECOWAS 67th Ordinary Session. Hello, Musbau. You're on.
You're on. Thank you. 67th Ordinary Session of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government and the States. Right here for that session. Already the president of the political schedule started by 12. Because all of them, the president was not holding up within that range and within the post.
We seem to be having some audio challenges there with our State House correspondent, but we hope to rejoin him as soon as we establish contact. President Bola Tinubu has condemned the killing of travelers in Plateau State, urging security forces to ensure the arrest and punishment of the culprits. Reacting to the news of the murder of 12 wedding guests, including the father and brother of the groom, the president described the heinous action as unacceptable and barbaric. A statement by the Special Advisor to the President on Information and Strategy, Bayo Onanuga, indicates that the victims, many of them injured, were traveling from Zaria in Kaduna State to Jos in Plateau State. President Tinubu directs the Nigerian police force to work with other security and intelligence agencies to ensure those responsible for the attack are held accountable. The president called for calm, promising not to allow the dastardly act to go unpunished, while urging the government of Plateau State to take decisive action in handling these vicious cycles of violence with a view to prevent future occurrences. President Tinubu said freedom of movement by all citizens is non-negotiable, and the federal government will not tolerate any attempt by anyone or group of people to curtail that fundamental freedom through acts of extreme violence and fear. Vice President Kashim Shettima condemns the suicide bombing attack that claims lives at a local food joint, Kondoga local government area of Borno State on Friday night, describing the incident as a heinous act of terrorism against innocent civilians. In a statement by the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Communications, Office of the Vice President, Stanley Nkwocha, he urged relevant agencies to expedite investigations into the incident and ensure that victims and families of the deceased receive urgent support. Expressing the federal government's commitment to bringing the perpetrators to justice, Vice President Kashim Shettima extends heartfelt condolences to the families of the victims and the people of Borno State. With Nigeria youth forming a significant proportion of the Nigerian population, the federal government is initiating vital schemes to get this energetic force adequately employed in its bid to revamp the nation's economy. And this report, Joseph Otsen, takes a look at some of the ongoing projects embarked on by government agencies like the National Directorate of Employment.
Aged between 15 to 35 constitute about 70% of the more than 200 million population of Nigeria, as estimated by the National Bureau of Statistics. Agencies of government, like the National Directorate of Employment, is tasked to provide windows of employment opportunities for the youth. In December 2024, it flagged off the Renew Hope Employment Initiative to provide entrepreneurship training to about 100,000 young Nigerians.
About 40,000 out of the 93,731 persons enrolled in this program will be receiving training in ICT and digital skills.
So far, not less than 33,000 youth, women, and persons with disabilities are beneficiaries, with a good number supported with starter packs.
Someone that told me about that they are applying for NDE, so he now gave me the website and I input my details. And to God be the glory.
Even when you give me solar panel, I can mount it in a good way.
It's one of the efforts under the small scale, under the special public works, to provide enabling environment to build a lock-up shops for the business.
This program, when fully operational, will not only tackle youth unemployment, but will address other cross-cutting lingering issues such as security, economic growth that will advance our national priorities.
The success of the scheme is to be driven by a digital platform where those seeking skills training will engage each other. In Abuja, Joseph Otsen, NTA News.
Let's now rejoin our State House correspondent Musbao Dan Wahab via Zoom to tell us what is happening now at the ECOWAS 67th Ordinary Session. Hello, Musbao.
All right, thank you so much. Like you said, it is the 67th Ordinary Session of the ECOWAS Authority of Heads of State and Government right here at the State House Conference Center. The stage is set just behind me. You can see them. Participants are already seated waiting for the entrance of the presidents who will be participating in today's event. And already they are the presidents that are on ground meeting right behind closed doors to discuss some things, some great areas, particularly the agendas they are for today. And after that, we expect them to come out and join this session to get it underway. On ground, presidents of Benin Republic, and that's Patrice Talon. We also have the Gambian president, Adama Barrow. We have the Ghana president, John Dramani Mahama, and of course, Sissoko Embalo of Guinea-Bissau and Diomaye Faye of Senegal. They are all behind closed doors meeting with the President Bola Tinubu, that is the chairman of the Authority of Heads of State and Governments. And after their meetings indoor, we expect them to come out, like I said. But remember, President Bola Tinubu's chairmanship will be clocking 2 years right now. In July 2023, he was elected as the chairman of the Authority of Heads of State and Governments. And last year, July, right here, too, he was re-elected for the second term. And we are waiting to see, after their meeting behind closed doors, to see if the president will be retained again or he will be handing over to another person to take over from him as the chairman of the Authority of Heads of State and Government. Ordinarily, or statutorily, the protocol of ECOWAS, we expect that after the president's, the chairmanship has been retained in the Anglophone countries on under 2 years. It is expected to go back to the Francophone countries, but that remains to be seen, like I said, when they come out of their meeting behind closed doors. And we hear from them to give us the resolution of their meeting.
Okay, thank you so much, Musbao, and we hope to keep a tab on you to bring us up to speed on the latest development as the events unfold. The Abia State government is intensifying efforts to tackle youth unemployment by empowering young people in Aba through targeted initiatives in manufacturing, ICT, and agriculture. Grace Nnanna reports that these programs are helping many youths in the state become self-reliant.
Local manufacturing in Nigeria, Aba, the commercial city of Abia State, has over the years become a hub for the production of shoes, garments, and other locally made goods, especially among the youths. In the past, many artisans were reluctant to brand their products as made in Aba, but with the Abia State government actively promoting the Made in Aba brand, encouraging public institutions to procure shoes, uniforms, and other products, the narrative is changing.
Do you know now we are exporting shoes from here to London, from here to Germany, from here to America? Not only shoes, bags, belts, all these things are being produced here.
In a bid to support youth empowerment, the Abia State government recently unveiled a 10 billion SME fund in partnership with the Bank of Industry. It has also engaged over 1,000 youths in ICT training, equipping them with technical skills and sponsoring others for agricultural training.
This fund is meant to be assessed by SMEs across various sectors. The state government has paid up its counterpart funds of 2 billion naira.
As the Abia State government continues to roll out youth-friendly policies in skills development, innovations, and manufacturing, many believe Aba is on its way to becoming not just Nigeria's SME capital, but a globally recognized hub for creativity and productivity. In Aba, Grace Nnanna, NTA News.
After 7 decades of profound contributions to national development, journalists in the country now have a renewed task of promoting Nigeria's narrative first in the face of modern realities. Ayodeji Makinde reports on this, which was central at the celebration of journalistic excellence, book presentation, and the feature of the media at the Nigerian Union of Journalists at 70.
Nigerian Union of Journalists, adjudged to be a key driver to independence in 1960 and the inevitable return to democratic rule in 1999, is now up against realities, notably the threat of artificial intelligence and quackery. The convergence served as a reality check with paper presentation, launching of a book titled The Bleeding Ink, and a renewed call by President Bola Tinubu represented to all journalists to champion the cause of Nigeria's democratic progress.
The media not only honors the sacrifices that birthed our democracy, but also helps to promote national cohesion and public trust in democratic institutions.
This moment reinforces the crucial responsibility of reporters to continue advocating for the robust democracy.
We cannot afford to shy away from technology. The reality is that AI will need human complementarity.
Father of the day, Aremo Olusegun Oshoba, led other experts in fields of journalism in calling for stricter sanctions on imposters.
Set up a website at which you must publish the list of those of us who are trained journalists. We are daily being embarrassed by some people who are not trained, who have no knowledge of the profession.
At a time like this, when other people are painting the narratives of Nigeria to suit their own mindset, we must say no and begin to tell our own stories in our own way.
Beyond the cultural display, 7 individuals were recognized for their outstanding contributions. to the continuous development of the Nigerian Union of Journalists in Abuja, Ayodeji, Makinde, NTA News.
A 43-year-old female makeup artist was arrested by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport in Ikeja, Lagos. The suspect, who claimed to be traveling to India for a fibroid surgery, had cocaine factory-fitted in her bag. Additional NDLEA operatives intercepted 1 million pills of opioids in Bauchi while raiding provision stores in Edo. Sawa Kali Ibrahim brings us the details.
3-year-old female makeup artist was arrested on Monday, June 16, 2025, at the Murtala Mohammed International Airport, Ikeja, Lagos, while attempting to board a flight to India. 2 large parcels of cocaine weighing 2.20 kilograms were found concealed in the walls of her suitcase. She claimed she was traveling for financial benefit under the pretext of seeking surgery to remove fibroid. Further investigation revealed she was recruited and funded by a drug baron currently at large. Similarly, on June 19, 2025, NDLEA operatives intercepted a shipment of sewn female dresses containing 1.3 kilograms of loud, a strong strain of cannabis heading to Bahrain, and 850 grams of cocaine concealed in cloth hangers heading to Australia. On June 16, 2025, NDLEA officers arrested 2 persons along Bauchi-Darazo Road, recovering 1,113,000 pills of opioids, including tramadol, diazepam, and Exol 5. Additionally, a 22-year-old female student of Kwara State Polytechnic was arrested with 1 kilogram of skunk at her base along Kwara Poly Road, Ilorin. While in Benin, operatives raided 2 supermarkets on June 19, 2025, arresting 2 female suspects with assorted illicit drugs, including Colorado, loud, Molly, tramadol, and other opioids. In Abuja, Salwa Khalil Ibrahim, NTA News.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, says it is engaging various stakeholders, including religious leaders, in the fight against substance abuse. Umenka Amarachuku reports that was the NDLEA's message at a church Thanksgiving service to commemorate the 2025 World Drug Day.
This special church service by the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency is aligned with the agency's effort to raise awareness on the dangers of drug abuse and promote a drug-free society.
NDLA has an anonymous line which you can call anytime from anywhere, and then you seek assistance from NDLA. It is not to arrest you, but to assist you if you're already in drug use, to advise you and to counsel you on how to come out of drug use.
We have a great potential, so we still believe in this country, and we believe that God will continue to help us, while we also work with structured organizations like the NDLEA.
The service includes prayers for behavioral change by drug addicts, as well as divine support for the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency's effort at restoring Nigerian youths to part of dignity, health, and productivity. In Abuja, Umenka Amarachuku, NTA News.
The federal and state governments are urged to reprioritize education in both budgetary provision and policy to effectively promote excellence and encourage innovation. This is just like the Nigerian universities are to take ownership of their roles in shaping national destiny. This was the submission of the guest lecturer, Dr. Ruben Abati, a seasoned journalist at the University of Africa, to a lecture in Sabama local government area of Bayelsa State. Gift Obwe reports.
Youth migration, now widely referred to as Japa syndrome, is not just a social trend, but a symptom of deeper systemic challenge that demand collective attention, wisdom, and actions as what constitutes a drain for Nigeria, is a gain for another country.
The opportunities that we are able to create are not enough for the thousands of graduates that we release into the market every. So I'm sure that's part of the reason why our students look for this, the slightest opportunity to migrate.
Most of our graduates who are very good and can impact on the institution or impact on their country, they run to other countries to show their impact there. So it's affecting our country negatively.
I feel like there are more opportunities abroad. I feel like each and every course we study is valued abroad than here at home in Nigeria.
Dr. Ruben Abati, in this public lecture on Japa syndrome and the future of university education in Nigeria, noted that the country needs to reset its priority and values to see talent, not just a resource to be exported, but as a foundation of the country's development strategy.
It is a call to action that demands open minds, critical engagement, and a collective commitment to rebuilding the Nigerian dream through education, innovation, and shared purpose. The most important part of this conversation must be forward-looking. We must go beyond conventional thinking and explore creative, context-driven solutions that can revitalize Nigerian universities.
Experts propose multifaceted approach to address this issue, including government initiative, educational reforms, and a shift in societal mindset to retain talent and foster a supportive environment for professionals. From Tororua in Sagbama local government area of Bayelsa State, Gift Ogbe, NTA News.
And from Bayelsa State, we take you to our Makurdi Network Center, where Charles Abba is standing by to bring us the next set of reports on Nationwide. Hello, Charles. It's over to you.
A warm welcome to Makurdi. Following directives of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu for the formation of a peace committee comprising critical stakeholders, including past governors of Benue, in finding lasting solutions to insecurity in the state, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, has met with the Ochidoma, His Royal Majesty John Elaigu Odogbo, to interface with the people of Benue South Senatorial District. Blessing Omeche Ebute reports.
It could be recalled that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu had, during his visit to commiserate with the state over the spate of killings, directed that a peace committee be constituted to proffer solutions to end insurgency attacks on communities in Benue State. The meeting of the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, Senator George Akume, is in fulfillment of that mandate by Mr. President. The SGF, Senator George Akume, who commiserated with the people over the attacks in the Benue South Senatorial District, expressed the need for peace mechanisms to arrest the ugly development and restore peace in the communities.
Part of this peace-building process that has invited my visit to His Royal Majesty the Totib, and from there I proceeded to see His Royal Majesty the Ochidoma. I'm so encouraged by their comments and their total commitment to maintenance of peace. The government will do everything to ensure that those who perpetrated these dastardly acts were brought to book.
While taxing stakeholders in the zone to complement the efforts of President Tinubu by coming together to achieve the much-needed peace for the state, the paramount ruler of the Idoma nation, His Royal Majesty John Elaigu Odogbo, stressed the need for everyone to prioritize peace through collaboration and unity. The SGF had earlier met with the Totiv in his private residence in Makurdi, where they had a closed-door meeting. With the President's directives, stakeholders advocate sincere conversations that will lead to deliberate actions rather than politicizing the issue of insecurity, while the killings and sacking of communities across Benue State persist. Blessing Omeche Ebute, NTA News.
In a related development, the Chief of Defense Staff, General Christopher Musa, and the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Olufemi Oluyede, have delivered a consignment of mobility and combat equipment to the headquarters Joint Task Force Operation Weststroke in Makurdi, Benue State. This is in a renewed effort to enhance troop mobility and operational effectiveness in the North Central region. Here are the details.
Acting Information Officer, Headquarters,
Joint Task Force JTF Operation Wellstroke, Lieutenant Ahmed Zubairu, in a statement explains that the newly deployed assets comprise troops-carrying vehicles, gun trucks, personal protective equipment, and over 100 motorcycles aimed at boosting tactical agility combat force protection and the overall combat readiness of troops operating in the region against persistent asymmetric threats. Force Commander, Operation Wellstroke, Major General Moses Gara, who acknowledges the development, emphasizes that the delivery reflects the Defense Headquarters' commitment to fostering synergy across military and security agencies. He adds that strategic deployment of gun trucks by the CDS demonstrates a focus on enhancing mobility and survivability, while motorcycles provided by the Chief of the Air Staff, COAS, Air Marshal Hassan Bala Abubakar, are expected to significantly improve rapid response capability in rugged terrains. Major General Gara also expresses deep appreciation to the Chief of the Air Staff for deploying additional air platforms to Operation Wellstroke, noting that the enhanced air support further boosts surveillance, reconnaissance, and close air support for ground operations. He further says the new assets will be immediately integrated into ongoing clearance and stabilization operations to extend troops' reach, improve situational awareness, and reinforce troops' morale. Charles Abba, NTA News. And that's the size of our contribution from Makudi at the moment. Nationwide continues in Abuja with Chinyere until, but after this break.
Many thanks for staying on. Nigeria, through the Nigerian Navy and National Hydrographic Agency, has unveiled the Port of Calabar chart, marking a navigational milestone, which the Minister of State for Defense, Bello Mohammed, says signals a new era of economic growth and maritime security in West Africa. Defense correspondent Naja'atu Tijani reports that this was at the West African Hydrographic Summit in Abuja.
With pride, the Minister of State Defense and key figures at the West African Hydrographic Summit and World Hydrography Day celebration in Abuja unveil the Port of Calabar chart, describing the moment as a significant step towards further reducing piracy and boosting opportunities in the blue economy sector.
The urgent need to understand and manage our marine environment cannot be overstated. Seabed mapping is no longer a technical luxury, it is a strategic imperative.
In the last 1 year, we have expanded our chart production capabilities, deepened our technical expertise, and strengthened our collective ties with the Nigerian Navy, academia, and the private sector. In particular, we have promoted unbroken bilateral and international engagements with other nations and international partners.
This achievement, he explains, is poised to unlock significant economic potential, including increased revenue generation and job creation in the blue economy sector, which is projected to boost the country's GDP and further establish Nigeria as a major player in West Africa's maritime industry. Naja'atu Tijani, NTA News.
The Oni of Ife, Oba Adeyeye Ogunwusi, has called for the inclusion of the Nigeria Forest Security Service, NFSS, in the National Guard structure, describing their role as critical to enhancing Nigeria's security architecture. This was when the Commander General Joshua Osati-Mehin and the Deputy Commander General Intelligence John Mechie paid homage on the monarch for royal blessings. Rotimi Akamu reports.
Of the National Forest and Security Service to his palace, the Oni of Ife Obadiyeye Ogunwusi commended President Bola Ahmed Tinubu and National Assembly for their efforts to integrate Forest Guard into security architecture of the country.
Such commitment amongst all of you, trying to keep our forest intact, trying to make sure that all is well. We all sleep in very populated environment. We don't know what is going on in the bush. I really want to thank you.
So as soon as Mr. President harmonizes us and we have access to modern day security gadgets, I believe within 3-6 months, all the criminal in Nigeria forest will be fished out.
Ife is our father. He's the grand patron. Everything started here, and we are back here. And I'm very pleased. I'm very overwhelmed, just like he is. Officers, I want them to be courageous. I want them to be dedicated. And I want them not to compromise when they are carrying out their duties.
The visit to the Palace of Ooni of Ife is part of soliciting help from traditional rulers in their country. From the Palace of the Ooni of Ife, Rotimi Akama, NTA News.
Addressing security challenge is going digital globally, and Nigeria is also following this tide. Smart police station is one area Nigeria is keying into with the establishment of such outfits across the country. Galaxy Backbone is a trusted partner in this new security drive as the Nigeria Police Trust Fund takes bold steps to transform operations of personnel by leveraging digital solutions to deliver efficient security services. Chimdemma Ndebisi reports.
Have you ever imagined walking into a police station anywhere in the country and seeing officers using the latest ICT tools to take statements, sharing crucial information seamlessly with other stations? Well, this will soon become a reality as Galaxy Backbone and Nigeria Police Trust Fund join forces to develop smart police stations nationwide. This isn't just about fancy gadgets, but a strategic partnership designed to revolutionize law enforcement in Nigeria. Galaxy Backbone, the authorized data host entity for both public and private institutions in the country, providing digital infrastructure and services, is stepping up to its role. It will be equipping the force with high-speed fiber connectivity, cloud platforms, and secure digital infrastructure.
If you're able to interconnect the police stations, that ensures that even when criminals are caught in one place, there is that seamless connection to other police stations to identify them. I've been to police stations wherein you'll be told to even go and buy a file. So why do we need physical files when these records can be documented properly electronically and seamlessly, and even the headquarters could have access directly to any records?
Technical advisory that will be coming in from Galaxy Backbone, capacity building and training of police ICT personnel.
This smart policing initiative is in alignment with the paperless policy of the head of the Civil Service of the Federation. In Abuja, Chimdemma Ndebisi, NTA News.
It's time to join Chika Okorie in Enugu for updates on educational researchers on experiential learning and other stories from that zone. Hello, Chika. It's over to you.
Thank you, Chinenye. And here is Enugu Network Center, a 3-in-1 mobile fully equipped smart science laboratory to aid teaching and learning of science subjects in post-primary schools in Enugu has been introduced by member representing Enugu North South Federal Constituency. Uchenan Namele was at the inauguration of the multi-million naira science laboratories in these schools. The report is presented.
The poor teaching and learning condition in most public schools, and to change the students' mindset about science, innovation, and technology, the member representing Enugu North and South Federal Constituency at the National Assembly, Chimobi Ato, renovated and fully equipped 3 mobile smart laboratories to boost learning at the post-primary level. Handing over the project to the benefiting schools is a dream come true for the lawmaker, who believes that science, innovation, and technology is a driving force of economic development of any nation.
Science is the leading way now. We need to give our people that sense of belonging. We have handed over this mobile lab to you people. It's there for you to protect it.
For the 3 benefiting schools and stakeholders, The gesture, in no small measure, will boost their academic and overall development.
By the time you see most of the things here, even if you are the biggest Olodo, when you are in the hall, your brain takes you to what you have seen, you print it there, so nobody have excuse of failing chemistry. Nobody has excuse of failing biology.
I'm so excited. I'm so happy because with this, we are going to go for my students. In fact, a lot of SS1 students have already identified with science department just because of this.
We are going to double our effort in making sure that these children become what God wants them to be.
In every science school, the heart of the science is in the science laboratory. And the Honorable, having identified this, went as far as equipping us with one.
The mobile smart laboratories includes both consumable and non-consumable components designed to make core science subjects appealing to the students.
Similarly, as the experiential learning approach in teaching, which emphasizes direct experience and reflection, gains traction in Nigeria, the Enugu State Education Transformation Plan is exploring ways to integrate experiential learning and the sustainable development goals in education setting. Through partnerships, the state is training stakeholders as educators, researchers to upscale experiential learning across all sectors. Susan Eze is our guide.
Both the federal and Enugu state governments recognize the importance of experiential learning and skill development, hence the domestication of the approach in Enugu state. As an approach that supports the Smart Green School initiative in the state, the government through the Ministry of Education is training educator researchers that will, through their research work, ascertain the impact of the experiential learning curriculum on the teachers, students, and the community.
This research will help in sustaining some of those ideas of innovation, of creativity, for the children and then the teachers. We will step down this particular knowledge to the entire teachers of Enugu State.
I teach programming and robotics. Is not content memorization. We do it practical. So it has been amazing for me as a teacher.
Led by the State Commissioner for Education and Dr. Kathleen Morel of Buffalo University, USA, the research project, which is in collaboration with the Spencer Foundation, aims to upscale experiential learning to turn out learners who are prepared for the real-world challenges.
The research is part of a broader and ongoing process that has informed the development of the Enugu Education Transformation Plan.
I'm working with them to make them educator researchers, training them on different methodologies and community-based participatory action research.
And so what's happening in Enugu is remarkable. We have students who are becoming innovators and problem solvers.
For sustainability, the state has set up a Center for Experiential Learning and Innovation Institute with takeoff intake of 220 experiential learning innovators. In Enugu, Susan Eze, MTA News.
That's the news from Enugu, and it is time now for us to pay some bills as the news continues thereafter in Jos.
Welcome to Jos. Plateau State Government is reiterating its commitment to restoring lasting peace and ending the lingering insecurity across the state, particularly in communities affected by violent attacks. Chairman of the Committee on Fact-Finding on Plateau Crisis, Major General Nicholas Rogers, stated this during the committee's visit to Mangu local government area of Plateau State. The report.
Plateau State over the years has witnessed crises which led to wanton destruction of lives and property. Worried over the development, the state government inaugurated a 10-man committee to look into the crisis, particularly from 2001 to date. This is with a view of finding lasting solutions to the security challenges in the state. Chairman of the committee, Major General Nicholas Rogers, during the visit to Mangu, says they are out to gather credible and first-hand information about the killings and destruction in the area, as well as interface with victims, community leaders, and other relevant stakeholders. He urged stakeholders to cooperate with the committee for a successful outing.
We hope that we will be able to put our people together and we sit together and we talk together and we relate together. I think we should be able to resolve the issue when we listen to ourselves and we talk to ourselves.
At the Mishkagam Magaville Palace, the committee interfaced with traditional rulers, religious leaders, youth representatives, and other critical stakeholders across different ethnic and religious groups.
There is need to unearth the root causes of the conflict in Mangu local government.
They expressed deep concern over continued attacks, destruction of property, displacement of natives, farm grazing, land grabbing, emphasizing the need for stronger security presence. The fact-finding committee later visited some of the communities affected by the attacks in Mangu local government area, where they assessed the level of destruction, farmlands, and deserted settlements in Tiop community.
A two-day retreat for management and staff of NTA Network Center Jos, in collaboration with NTA TVC Jos, has ended with a call on management of NTA to sustain excellence in broadcasting. Indian and Abuja has more.
The retreat had presentation techniques, mentorship, and service delivery as its theme. It had robust discussions on how to reposition NTA for excellence in broadcasting.
It will give them focus to relate it to the Renew Hope agenda of Mr. President. We've been trained to know, to evolve.
3 resource persons presented 6 papers. Professor Ladisandra Adamu of the Masscom Department, ABU Zaria, represented, dwelt on broadcasting excellence, principles, and practices of presentation skills. She emphasized the need for broadcasters to know their subject and audience body language and voice.
We need to focus more on the kind of content that we're putting out that can further ingrain NTA in the lives and in the homes of Nigerians.
Former Director of Administration, NTA Headquarters Abuja, Atiku Dan Shintima, spoke on mentoring and mentorship practices for management staff, calling for adequate training of mentors and clear communication between mentors and mentees.
The experienced people need to leave behind their experiences, their knowledge, their expertise, so that the organization can continue.
Professor Seth Akusun's paper on presentation techniques on the Renewed Hope agenda and its economic trajectories says NTA's vision should encompass responsive and indispensable partnership in the country's development journey. The resource persons commend NTA for quality broadcasting, calling on management to sustain it. The Communique Committee, chaired by the Deputy Director News, NTA Network Center Jos, Mark Agagu, urged management to sustain training and retraining of staff for optimal performance. In Jos, Indian and Abuja, NTA News.
That's all from Jos. It's back to Chinenye for the continuation of Nationwide in Abuja.
Many thanks, Bill Kesu. The Nigeria Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, is promoting staff well-being by leveraging sporting activities to enhance productivity in the workforce. The Director of Corporate Services of the NCAA, Dr. Becky Aradinazu, stated this ahead of the maiden edition of the annual DCGA Sports Week 2025. She said the event aims to foster unity, fitness, teamwork, resilience, and institutional pride among staff.
On its own, have a blend of values for people. Through it, we learn discipline, we learn a lot, we learn bonding, teamwork.
We have regions in different locations of the country to ensure seamless operation of our oversight function in the aviation industry. We are based in Kano, we are based in Kaduna, we have a branch in Abuja, we are based in Port Harcourt, Enugu, Lagos. All this to ensure that we have enough eagle-eye oversight on all aviation business.
The week-long activity scheduled from June 23rd to 29th, 2025 at the Nigerian Air Force Base Sports Complex will feature over 300 athletes from regional offices and headquarters competing in various sports, including football, swimming, chess, and table tennis. And for stories trending in the sporting world, let's join Suleiman Musa on Sports Update.
Restricted access, which was forced by a leadership and ownership tussle. There is optimism that the IBB International Golf and Country Club Abuja will soon be reopened for golfing activities following the visit of the Minister of FCT, Nyesom Wike, to the club as part of his intervention effort.
My interest is this is the property of government. I hand it over for you to manage. And when I came here, I was quite impressed.
The Athletics Federation of Nigeria has invited 90 junior athletes to the national training camp ahead of the Confederation of African Athletes Under 20 and Under 18 Championship slated for July 16 to 20 in Abuja. The 3-week camp is aimed at sharpening the athlete physical and technical readiness with a strong focus on relay team coordination as Nigeria targets a dominant showing on home soil. Still on athletics, Nigeria sensation Tobi Amusan stormed to a season best of 12.24, finishing second in a thrilling women's 100-meter hurdles final at the Paris Diamond League. She was narrowly edged out by Grace Stark from the United States of America, who set a meeting record of 12.21, while Jamaica Akera Nogent claimed third. To basketball, the Junior Tigers have kicked off preparations for the upcoming FIBA Under-19 Women's Basketball World Cup set to take place this July. The Junior Tigers booked their place at the World Cup after finishing as runners-up at the 2024 FIBA Under-20 Women's Afrobasket in South Africa, losing 76-56 to Mali in the final. With Sports Update, Suleiman Musa, NTA Sports.
And that's Nationwide for today. We thank you so much for being a part of it. I am Chinenye Moye.